Chiefs Kingdom, we have a Frank Clark update as guess what? He has been talking to the Kansas City Chiefs. We are going to dive into the full story and talk about what we know about the situation and if Frank Clark will be back with the Red Kingdom by possibly the end of this week. We're going to go with it all on today's show. You're watching the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. Let's do it. Appreciate you joining us today. My name is Jay Sanders. And, well, we got a packed house in this show for you because we got a Frank Clark update, as we mentioned, along with some Justin Watson injury news. We're going to talk about every update that we have on Watson, along with 53-man roster moves are incoming, with Richies James being eligible to return from IR and Charles Omenihue coming back from his 6-game suspension. We got to talk about what is going on with the Chiefs roster. Let's first start with Frank Clark, though, because he may be coming home. The former Chief who signed with the Broncos this offseason and then was released by the Broncos on Friday, well, he actually may be eyeing a return to Kansas City, and this was kind of speculated a couple days back when Ian Rappaport tweeted this out pretty much almost simultaneously after Frank Clark's release, saying that it appears that a return to Kansas City is the most likely scenario in the eyes of league sources. And Rappaport, a pretty good source there to say that guess what? The best possible scenario for Frank Clark is to come back to Kansas City. To me, I think Clark could be signing by Friday. That's what I'm going to say, just for the simple fact that it seems like they're already having talks, which we'll get to in just a moment, that we have reports there. But along with that, it almost feels like this was just destined to happen. The way he perceived himself with the Broncos was like, man, I'm here, but I'm just kind of here for a paycheck. When he was with the Chiefs, it was, I'm happy to be here, I want to. And he was best friends with Chris Jones. He was happy. With the Broncos, it just didn't feel the same. Well, we got a tweet today from Arrowhead Pride, one of the many news sources covering the Kansas City Chiefs, saying that Frank Clark is having conversations with the team. Now, conversations, what exactly does that mean? Well, from my understanding, it seems like Frank Clark is in Kansas City, is talking with the Kansas City Chiefs. In fact, in Andy Reid's press conference today, he mentioned it. Yeah, we are talking to Frank Clark. We're exploring the possibility of a reunion with the former Chief edge rusher, linebacker, whatever you want to call it. He can play in a lot of different ways on the defense, but I don't know what will happen, when it will happen, but it seems like it's imminent that he's going to sign with the Chiefs. But do you even want that? Well, I want you to let me know in the comment section below, because I asked this question a couple days ago, but now that it almost seems like it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, do you want to see a Frank Clark reunion? Type Y for yes or type in for no. Now, I'll give you my answer in just a moment, but the Chiefs, well, the best use they got from Frank Clark was in the playoffs. Dude was an absolute menace when it came to playing in the playoffs for the Chiefs. 32 tackles, 10.5 sacks, 93 sack yards, and a fumble recovery. I mean, it's absolutely wild what he put up in the playoffs. Again, his contract was big, and it didn't really live up to it until the playoffs. So, you know what? If he's cheap, why not? There's not really a reason to not try him out. You have Charles Omenihue coming back, which we'll get to in just a moment. You have some roster moves that are kind of going to be pulling and moving people around over the next week or so. But hey, why not? He's cheap. He's a proven guy on this Chiefs squad. And I said it time and time again, and I'm going to continue to say it. Him and Chris Jones are pals. You sign Frank Clark, you keep him around. Well, there's a possibility that maybe next year, when Chris Jones is an official free agent, maybe he takes a tiny bit of a pay cut so that you can keep Frank Clark around and, well, the two can stay united in Kansas City. I appreciate you watching the Chiefs Report as always, but if you want to go the extra mile today, why don't you share the Chiefs Report to a Chiefs fan member that you know? We're trying to grow the Chiefs Report kingdom here, and I'll tell you what, if you share the video on Twitter and you tag me at JaceAndrews_, I'm going to retweet you, I'm going to follow you, and guess what? I will be looking through your Twitter. I'm going to be your friend. We're already friends, but if you retweet it, if you post about it, whatever you want to do, I will like and follow it and retweet you. I really appreciate it. Again, share the video to help grow the Chiefs Kingdom. All right, we're going to give you a Justin Watson here coming up on the show, as there's some positive news and some news that we're going to talk about here in just a moment, kind of diving into the situation with his injury that he got against the Broncos. But before that, I'm going to tell you about Game Time, which Game Time is the absolute place to be when buying tickets. And we have a special deal today as we're going to show you a little bit more about a way to get $50. We're going to tell you about that in just a moment. With Game Time, it's the fast and easy way to buy tickets for sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. And you shouldn't have to worry about buying tickets to your next big event. Game Time is going to give you the peace of mind when buying tickets with their best price guarantee. And like I said, if you want to get $50, well, there's an easy way to do it. I want you to download the Game Time app, open the redeem code section after you make your account, and redeem code ChiefsChat for $20 off your first purchase, and then screenshot it and send it to me at JaceAndrews_ on Twitter. You can also send it to me on Instagram, wherever you want to do it. Get entered to win a raffle for $50 toward your first Game Time purchase. Free $50. Who doesn't want that? All you got to do, again, redeem code ChiefsChat and screenshot it and send it to me, and you're going to be entered to win the raffle, which we will have the full entrance on the next watch party this upcoming Sunday against the Chargers. So send it to me, and you can get a free $50. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code ChiefsChat for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code ChiefsChat, ChiefsChat, for $20 off. Download Game Time today. The last-minute tickets at the lowest price guaranteed. And if you want that $50, if you want a chance to be entered, well, screenshot it and send it to me either on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, or Instagram. I'll leave that to you right there. JaceAndrews_15 on Instagram. My DMs are open there. Or on Twitter as well, at JaceAndrews_. Send me the photo, and I will get you entered. And basically, you're in to win a free $50. Who doesn't want free money? Do it now. All right, well, we have a Justin Watson injury update, and I mentioned at the top, it's a little bit of a positive note. Now, I think we do have to take a step back because there also comes with caveats to this, but let's first talk about the injury and what happened. So he suffered a dislocated elbow in the fourth quarter of the Broncos game, and at first it was feared to be a long-term injury because, well, he seemed like he was on the sideline in a lot of pain. They figured out it was dislocated. And then it was going to, all right, what's the MRI results? What's going to happen? Is there any internal damage that we do not know about? Well, Ian Rappaport, as always, gave us a nice update saying that good news from Justin Watson's MRI. There was no significant damage revealed. Sources say, which means Watson should be back on the field sooner rather than later, which is pretty good considering Justin Watson has been one of the most favorited targets this season by Patrick Mahomes, and he has the best catch average on the entire team at 21.9 yards. Overall, it seems a pretty good shot that he could back within the next 3 weeks, and I think that's nice considering, again, this wide receiver room is just interesting. You have Kadarius Toney, although he's not really been the wide receiver one. Marquez Valdes-Scantling, Sky Moore, Rashee Rice has honestly been the number one receiver. But there's also not a name on the top four or the bottom three there that, well, could be affected here in the upcoming weeks. And that's because we have two returning players, and one of them is a wide receiver, being Richies James, who is eligible to come off the IR this week. Now, will he come off? Will the Chiefs give him on? We do not know yet. Along with Richies James, it'll be Charles Omenihue who can come off his 6-game suspension. He will most certainly be added to the 53-man roster. We'll have to see exactly kind of what goes on. But before I get into what I think the Chiefs can do, I want to address something real quick, guys. I've gotten the opportunity to advance my career, and I'm actually helping out with Chat Sports, taking over Titans today. If you see me over there, just know my first love is the Chiefs, and do not worry, I am always and continually going to be putting out Chiefs content. But if you see me over at Titans today, come say hi, but don't worry, my first love will always be the Chiefs, and my first priority will always be the Chiefs. But just wanted to make sure that y'all know where my priority's at. It's Chiefs Kingdom all day, but I'm super excited to advance my career with helping out with Titans Today by Chat Sports. All right, the Chiefs are going to have to make a lot of moves here coming up as, again, 53-man roster, there's a lot of guys that are eligible to come back here. You have Richies James, you have Justin Watson, you have Montrell Washington, who's been a good return man, and now you have Justin Watson, which, do you put him to the IR? What do you do? Well, here's 4 Chiefs options that I've come up with. You can keep Richies James on IR because technically he is eligible to come off, but you don't necessarily have to take him off. You can also move Montrell Washington, the good return man, back to the practice squad. You can place Justin Watson on IR, or you could just cut somebody. Or there's also a fifth option, technically, of putting somebody else back on the practice squad. You're going to have to pick two of those, though, if you want both Richies James and Charles Omenihue back here. But I think the bigger reason is Montrell Washington probably will go back to the practice squad is my first initial thought. But I don't know if I like that because I've liked what I've seen from Washington out of the return role. Now, Richies James was in that return role, and he muffed a punt against the Jaguars. That resulted in a turnover and points for T-Law and the Jags that game. Well, maybe it's time to just say, hey, let's keep Washington on the squad and figure out a move somewhere else, or just keep Richies James on IR. Either way, I think the big move here is Montrell Washington the better returner? Because if so, he probably deserves that spot. Richies James isn't going to do much in the passing game, although Montrell Washington hasn't even ran a route. Let me know which returner you like more. Type R for Richies James or type M for Montrell Washington. Because, again, it's just kind of weird that the only way that Richies James really made this squad in the first place was his receiving, or rather punt returning and kick returning abilities. Montrell Washington, well, he was signed to be a backup returner. He got his chance, and he performed pretty well. In fact, having his best return against the Broncos this past week. Let me know in the comments section of today's video, which returner do you like more? Type R for Richies James again, type M for Montrell Washington. Make sure you're subscribed to the Chiefs Report as we're putting out daily content on the Kansas City Chiefs day in and day out. And we want you to be a part of the Kansas City Chiefs and the Chiefs Report Kingdom, the Chiefs Kingdom. So subscribe today as we're going to keep you updated on everything Kansas City. All right, I'm going to talk about it here for the last 30 seconds of this show. And that is that Taylor Swift is not going anywhere. The two, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, were seen together multiple times over the weekend as they had the SNL After Watch Party where the two arrived together. And let's just say it was very obvious they were a couple. Then the next night, they were together again, and, well, you can see the smile on his face. Travis looks happy, and I'm going to say it. I'm happy for Trav. I'm happy for him. I think he is happy to be here. It's kind of one of these things, and again, I don't expect Taylor Swift fans to be watching this, but I expect Chiefs fans to be happy for Travis Kelce. And overall, he seems like a really good guy. He seems like he's treating Taylor Swift well. I think it's a good option, and who knows, maybe she's the good luck charm. Since she arrived at the stadium, well, guess what? Chiefs have been pretty dang good. I want you to let me know in the comments section below if you're happy for Kelce and Swift, the new power couple in Kansas City. If you are, type TK as, well, you can't mock it. Either you like the coverage. I know the NFL has kind of waterboarded us with it, pouring us with the coverage of Taylor Swift, but you can't help but be happy for the cute couple of Swift and Kelce. Type TK in the comments section below. We appreciate you watching today's video. Like it if you are a real one and made it all the way to the end. And I want to know who's real because you went through Taylor Swift. You went through a lot of stuff today. If you're a real one, like the video. I really, really appreciate you. And make sure you keep continuing to watch the Chiefs Report because we're going to be putting out positive content and great content throughout the entirety of the 2023 season. And the Chiefs, well, guess what? We'll end off with this. Chiefs have the best record in the NFL as of yesterday. Peace out, Kansas City.